Israeli company called the PrimeSense, who built the chipset for them. And when they built, they took this and they got a structural light scanner ready. It's actually a technique which is relatively new, where people could. It was a simple technique where there was a projector, and with the projector it would project light onto your face in a pattern, and based on the diffraction of light, it would detect depth. And now when they move this, there are a lot of examples in universities where they got it working with a simple projector and a webcam, but somebody took control of that whole property and then got it working on this one. Microsoft invested in the company. This was like 5 years ago, and they finally got it working now. So after they did that, what they did with the Kinect is the biggest problems you have with webcams and computer vision and things like that are basically lighting. So they couldn't rely on ambient lighting anymore. So what they did was they actually went for laser. It's shooting a low watt laser at me right now. So if you look at it with an infrared display, you'll actually see dots on my face, like somebody's trying to snipe me or something. And this, okay, I'll probably not show that later. But the first one actually fires a laser, and the other one is tracks the diffraction, and the third one is an RGB camera. So you can do quite a lot of stuff with it. Now, my background is game development. I've done a lot of game development and augmented reality and OpenCV, that is computer vision based programs before. And I always wanted a device with which I can mess around with natural user interfaces and things like that. So, which brings me to this one. When I finally got hold of it, it took quite a while for me to actually. There's a big trick to get it working, first of all, because it comes with a non-standard port, and you can plug that only into the Xbox. Now, Microsoft had to supply an adapter to connect it to the older Xboxes, because this wasn't around when the first Xbox came. So, for me to get hold of that, it took me about 2 months, because they wouldn't sell it in the UK for a long time.
Just a USB?
Just a USB to converter, so I couldn't get that. The other story being that Microsoft was not interested in getting people to actually use that on anything. So a sort of hacker competition happened, and people started messing around with it. A few of them who could actually get hold of the adapter, they started using it to. They did some USB scanning thing, port scanning thing, and they finally managed to figure out what it was. Yeah, and then I hooked it up with the physics engine, so I play around with it a bit. Yeah, this is my program. No, that's not it. Yeah, I can actually create more things like that. Yeah, it's kind of very. Yeah, it's not very clear here. It's typically far more stable. I think it's because of the soft chair or something. And I can create more beach balls or bubbles or whatever. I did get it last time. This is embarrassing. Why isn't it working? It did create one of those, but I can't touch anything. Okay, probably started again. I haven't figured out a lot of things yet. I just got it working with this one, but I think there is a problem with the.
So do you get the actual? Do you actually get your skeleton from the API, or is that something you have to work out yourself?
Yeah,
you get the skeleton from the API.
Yeah, OpenCV is calculating the skeleton and giving you that.
So you actually get those points.
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you want with
those.
You
can. Now what I've done is those are actually physics objects. I'm mapping it to the skeleton and it gets hold of it. So I'm supposed to start in this pose. Come on. Oh, there you go. I can made a small program to this one. The code is quite dirty. I didn't really take it on me. It doesn't seem to be getting this properly because it looks like. What I'd done was if the z of my hands are lesser than 500 from my torso, then create a ball which is as wide as I show it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's supposed to happen. It worked pretty well at home. now I think it's shaking, so it's not getting it. Come on.
That's pretty impressive. So you just get that. You just get the points of the parts on your skeleton.
Yeah.
And then you can do anything you like with those.
Yeah. I've mapped it to a physics engine, so now I can actually use it with the physics engine.
Yeah.
And I can do lots of things. Now, this is just the start. We can plug it to WPF, your own interface, and then you can hand it around. Now the thing is, since we just have this...
It reminds me of a real Kinect game.
Yeah.
Slightly better.
Okay. I think I did something like that.
Impressive.
Yeah. Now, since I got work only 2 days on it, I didn't really do too much. But my idea is, okay. I think the look at that.
Bit Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Does this sort of works on a sort of 2D plane?
Yeah. Right now,
Sort of sideways.
yeah. Actually, the skeletal data you get is in 2D. It's not really in 3D. So it's exactly like how the RGB is seeing, and it can map it properly. So but you can use this for a lot of things. Technically speaking, it should work better if you mount it properly. Right now, it's on a shaky platform. I think that's the reason why it's doing so much. It shouldn't really. For example, here, I still don't get it. Actually. It is far better. Actually. Oh, maybe I need to do this.
They call this.
There you are.
They call this development.
There you go.
I think it's when you can see your feet it works better, like you said at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, it was supposed to see my feet so that I can kick it around, but it probably works without that as well. Try and put it up there and see what it does. Let's see if it does something. But
I'm wondering why the hands and feet, they're just those little boxes as well, because I can see that there's no crossing over going on here at all, whereas when you're kicking it, they're crossing in, you're going into the ball.
Oh yeah, that's just something rough I did. I'm actually moving the physics objects directly, and they're not supposed to touch each other. But I'm moving those physically inside, and I'm supposed to actually follow a set.
You're moving them right rather than sort of shifting them in using.
Yes.
Is this box 2D?
Yeah, it's box 2D.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
So you're just moving the object without really going through.
Yeah.
Physics.
And so when it touches these, it kind of creates. I've added a bit of torque and bouncy things there, but when the skeleton works, you can actually use that to use your hands and scroll up and down. And we can probably build UI controls on top of that, and build a standard library that you can use for all your.
And how would you make that work with OpenCV? I mean, what kind of things did you do with that?
Exactly. Since we can see the depth map, I'll show you a bit of OpenCV. Now, for example, this one. Yeah, there you go. It shouldn't be this slow. It's actually much faster. I think it's because it's connected to a lot of things. It's strange, it shouldn't happen. But yeah, OpenCV can detect faces and any kind of patterns. Now, let me show you some other thing which is pretty good. Yeah, this is one of the better ones. There you go. Actually, that's feature tracking.
What sort of features?
Yeah, it's basically you can
You can do edge detection.
yeah, edge detection and things like that.
But what are those green dots? What are those green dots?
Yeah, they just
Well, they're not.
align themselves to the edge, and then they stick to a color or a particular feature that they know. So these are just some samples on OpenCV that you can use to, that you can actually use with the depth map. And with the depth map you can cut out most of the background. If you know where the guy is standing, you can cut off this entire background and you can concentrate on just the depth that you get with the hand. I'll see if I can actually show you that particular one. That's going to be interesting. What you could do with OpenCV is you can get where your hand is, and look at that. At that distance, this is in the front of most of the other things. So you can cut off the rest of the background.
So the colour is recognising.
Yeah,
it's recognising the distance.
Yeah, yeah. It thinks that's human.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the palm is actually much ahead in most of them. So you actually get a value of it gives me a value of 0 here to 2,000 here. So you pretty much cut off everything.
So you can say everything below a certain.
Yeah, below a certain amount, take it out, and then you can use feature tracking on just these, and you can do lots of things. And that's just the depth map. You still have control over the entire RGB map, and you can display that the way you want. Take pictures, put it up on Facebook, and whatever. So there you go.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank